Hello everybody, welcome back to the iilluminaughtii channel, which is pretty much the main channel, but only a slightly bit worse. Now what we do over here, if you don't know, is pretty much in a live format. We will cover things which I would cover on the main channel, but it's pretty much just me giving a live reaction. Rather than a scripted video, I'm just going to be going through certain things that I want to talk about, which I don't really think warrants a main channel video. And in today's rendition of that, we're going to be speaking about this old chestnut, iilluminaughtii, because yes, iilluminaughtii is subject to a large amount of controversy. If you didn't know who iilluminaughtii is, honestly, I'm not going to give you an explanation because I've done a million videos on it. H-Bomber Guy has a video of 20 million views, not specifically about it, but at least it covers iilluminaughtii, or who we've been referring to her as Blair in this video as. Basically, everybody knows who Blair is. Well, a lot of people know who Blair is, and I want to speak more about her today, and I just didn't really think it warranted another main channel video. Pretty much, I want to go through Blair seemingly quitting the internet. I want to go through more updates with Blair's lawsuit, and I also want to go through, for the most part of this video, a video that Oz Media recently uploaded where he speaks about updates to do with the courtroom from his perspective, and also just a bunch of other things which I found quite interesting, but also gave us a bit of a new perspective on Blair and just in general how absolutely terrible she is. And it's like a familiar pattern which happens with these videos of where every time we make a new video, Blair just seems to get worse and worse and worse, and when you thought it's not possible, it happens again. But yeah, the first thing that I wanted to speak about today is Blair's... Actually, no, hold up a second. I didn't do the regular request of, could you please subscribe to this channel? Sorry, I do need to just ask. I've been very inactive on this channel for pretty much over a year now. I'm going to be doing a lot of short form videos. I say short form, but this is probably going to be like a 40-minute video. But in the context of making 5-hour videos on the main channel, that is short form for me. So yes, if you want low quality live videos of me giving my opinions kind of off the cuff on things, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Or if you just want more regular stuff from me, or if you just think I want to subscribe to that pretty face. But yes, let's get into it. So pretty much something that I noticed, and a lot of other YouTubers noticed, because recently there's been some videos going around which says this: iilluminaughtii has finally quit, by our residential northerner Jake Baz. She's finally gone forever. iilluminaughtii sparks new rumors, the unceremonious end of iilluminaughtii. Pretty much a lot of people out there seem to hold the belief that Blair has pretty much just outright quit YouTube, and honestly, I can kind of back that. I feel like Blair has kind of given up, and there are a multitude of reasons for that, but the main one being she is absolutely unbelievably irrelevant, and I don't usually like to speculate over somebody's relevant. Well, sometimes I do. So if it's like somebody who I don't like, i.e. iilluminaughtii, okay, maybe I do like doing that in the case of people I don't like, okay? But yeah, with Blair, she's not doing too well. Other than her last video, which is on like 70k views, which in the grand scheme of things to what she used to do, 4 million, 2.8 million, 2.7 million, obviously not exactly doing too well, but that video only has 70k because that was her last video. People have come to the channel to see what the mess is up to, as in like not her... look, YouTube, for TOS reasons, I have to say, I'm not calling Blair a mess. I'm saying the channel is a mess. Because, yeah, they come to see the mess, see what it's up to, and then they click off. But then you can see, when she was uploading regularly, 28k, 25k, 30k, and all these videos are pretty much just... They're not great, to be honest with you. A pretty infamous one was the dark side of disaster relief, and I believe this is the video where, you know, Blair's talking. Let's have a listen.
There were 134,000 fewer residents, 39,000 fewer housing units, and 2,000 fewer businesses. Some of this is inevitable, but not all of it. Better preparation and a better response could have easily given so many people their lives back, but instead, the wealthy were prioritized over those in need. That's why this disaster wasn't entirely natural. But what about other storms, and why does this keep happening?
Wow, I'm really interested in this topic, and I would love to know more. Please tell me more, Blue? Who's Blue? Blair, iilluminaughtii, please tell me more about this topic and why this keeps happening. Wow, I'm really looking forward to this. Let's get into this. Let's do this. Okay, nice little introduction. Nice little intro. All right, Hawaii. Hello, Blair. Blair? Blair? Blair, what's happened? She stopped knowing how to speak. I could see text, basically, yeah, I'm not going to play this any longer. Pretty much Blair completely forgot to put in the audio files, and she kept this in. She kept it in. It became a big meme on Twitter. People were speaking about it, being like, wow, the quality control on Blair's channel is just at an absolute low point. And I can kind of see why she quit shortly after this, because it was very clear to me that she did not care about this channel anymore because it wasn't getting the views. I mean, the only reason this one did quite well in comparison to the ones after is probably because people were clicking on it checking if she had cut this part out, which she absolutely did not do. That's what makes this bit even more funny. There was this terrible moment in Blair's video, and she still decided to just not remove it. Now, I don't know if this is because she just doesn't use social media and didn't see the criticism, say she just uploads the video and runs away from the internet. I wouldn't be surprised by that. But surely one of her editors would have pointed out, oh, sorry, Blair, we made a mistake. We need to go back and change that. But alas, yeah, it kind of seems that Blair has seemingly quit, and there's no updates on any other forms of social media like her Instagram and Twitter. The last time she posted on Instagram, okay, I'm not logged in, but she hasn't been posting for a while pretty much. And this leads us to this video here by Oz Media, which is titled Dear iilluminaughtii, and as you can see in 2 days, the video has done very well. But the first thing I want to say is Oz has updated his GoFundMe because pretty much he needs a new round of funding because the court case he is currently involved in, if you don't know about that, by the way, go check out my previous videos about it, but the court case that he is currently embroiled in with iilluminaughtii is going on for even longer, and because of that, a new round of donations has started to happen with this GoFundMe, and I highly recommend you go and check this out. Round 2 this time, it's directly for all legal costs associated with taking on the lawsuit dropped to myself, Felix, and possibly, if served, hi, I'm Wonder. This fund will be utilized to support all in the battle against Redacted. Last time she got my GoFundMe taken down for including her first name. This is who we're dealing with in this situation, ladies and gentlemen, to the point of where she is willing to take down somebody's GoFundMe just out of mentioning their name, despite this lawsuit is definitely happening and it has been going on for over a year at this point, and is between these two individuals. She is not willing to even allow her name to be mentioned in this. This new video from Oz really does document a lot of Blair's behavior to a point of what I said earlier of she is just so much worse than we realized. Now, I don't want to sit through this entire video because you should just go and watch Oz's video, but I want to give my opinion on it. So what I've done is I've already sat through the video and I've written down some timestamps that I want to go through with you guys, give my reaction to it again, and also just kind of give you guys an understanding of what is really going on in this situation. So I think the best part to start off with here is Oz speaking about the GoFundMe and why he has started it again. Yes, I gave the reasonings just now, but I think it's important to hear it from Oz himself.
My goal with these uploads, assuming Blair does not take my offer, is to not only lay my defense bare for all legal parties to see, but for the online community as a whole. I intend to provide ample documentation to justify to all of you why another round of crowdfunding is being posted. This isn't just for myself anymore. This is also to defend employees that Blair is bringing legal action against as well. If Blair does accept my offer within the outro, I will be refunding the new GoFundMe once all terms are met and the lawsuit is officially over, court filings and all. If you're curious as to why I'm even offering Blair a potential settlement in the outro, that will be explained there, as there are numerous factors in my personal life that I've recently had to heavily consider and prioritize minimizing or even removing causes of stress.
This is a big thing as well. I've spoken to every single individual in this story. Well, not every single one, but most of the main individuals involved in the lawsuit. And it's very clear to me that as much as Blair in her original response video in 2023 to all the drama surrounding her tried to shape it out like she cares about her friends and misses the friendships, she just does not care whatsoever. She doesn't care about the stress she puts onto people. And to me personally, as somebody, as an outsider in a situation who has extensively covered it, it's very obvious to me that she is a very venomous person. If you aren't agreeing with her on absolutely everything, she will do absolutely everything she can to take you down. And if you dare say anything about her publicly that is slightly negative or doesn't go with the narrative that she wants to push, she will do everything to make you look like the bad guy. And if she can't do that, then she will ruin your life in a court case. Because Oz, felixthekitkat, and the others who are possibly involved in the lawsuits, they realistically can't afford to keep doing this lawsuit. And Blair knows that. And I think as long as she has the money to keep on pushing this lawsuit, she will do that. Not because necessarily she cares about what the public think about her at this point. I think she just wants to make these individuals as stressed as possible. I think this is all about revenge, not about justice in any means, but just about giving Blair that little amount of satisfaction if she possibly wins this lawsuit. Because obviously, as we all know, the legal system, it's not fair for the most part, especially in these types of court case. We've got a rich millionaire who's in a significant position of power hounding people that merely gave their opinions. And by the way, they mainly all gave their opinions in response to a situation that Blair herself created when she herself called out somebody for plagiarism, even though that was absolutely not the case, and iilluminaughtii herself was the one plagiarizing other individuals, allegedly. And another great piece of irony with this situation is Blair herself is a commentary YouTube channel who regularly puts people under the scope and analyzes their every movements and criticizes people, which is absolutely fine. I do that myself too. But when one individual does that to her, or a few others do that to her, she then, rather than responding to it in another video publicly, takes them to court and tries to ruin their life financially. It just sums up Blair as a human being. But yeah, let's continue. Now, the first 10 minutes of this video is pretty much Oz explaining the beginning part of the timeline involving him and the rest of Sad Milk versus iilluminaughtii and what happened in the Legal Eagle situation. And I don't really think I need to go through that because at this point we've spoken about it many times. But instead, I want to go through this bit here, 13 minutes in, where Oz speaks about things that genuinely piqued my interest, where he mentions things to do with how this situation wasn't even a big piece of drama before Blair made her video. And this is something that I've spoken about quite a lot. This situation didn't need to be as big as it is now. If Blair just responded to it in a normal way, this could have all been done last year. We could have been moving on from this. Everybody could have, settled their arguments on Twitter, but Blair herself decided to make the situation massive by making a YouTube video which got over 1 million views, responding to everything, but also accusing everybody else of other things and making other individuals relive their trauma in her own video by Blair leaking certain pieces of information that was not public at that point of time. Then Blair decided to start this lawsuit when everybody else responded to the things that Blair said in that video, and obviously no one thinks that that is fair, but this is the legal system. In America, you can pretty much just sue anybody for anything. But yeah, let's listen to what Oz has to say about this.
One day, April 24th, One Topic would post his thread in opposition to Blair. April 28th, Blair would upload her video, Illuminaughtii Exposed, which served as a direct response to her detractors. Blair had taken drama off of Twitter with minimal viewership and plastered it before her large audience for the world to see. In this video, she finally showed that she did in fact apologize to Legal Eagle in private. If this was made public, I believe we would not be here right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if this was a apology that was made in public, I would just be like, you know what? I myself made the situation public, which she did, as you can see here. Not Legal Eagle editors broaching my editors to take my video style. By the way, that's not even like a regular thing that happens. Sometimes somebody will use an editing technique and somebody will reach out to another editor being like, hey, what did you do there? What plugin did you use? Because ladies and gentlemen, the magic of editing is that most editors use plugin packs where they will basically drop a plugin into their editing timeline which was created by another individual. You can literally Google plugin packs Premiere for Premiere Pro and you'll get the biggest all-in-one bundle for editors, the best Premiere Pro effects. These are very normal things that happens in the editing business. It's not like it's like a lazy thing to do. It's It's just something to make the whole, I guess, process of editing more efficient and quicker, and makes the lives of editors much easier rather than just manually doing transitions and stuff like that. So when Blair was calling out Legal Eagle for this, I was very confused, and I think it just indicates to me that Blair genuinely has absolutely no idea what happens in the process of actually making a video, which honestly kind of surprises me considering she does have a large YouTube channel, bearing in mind her channel at one point had 400,000 more subscribers than this. But yeah, it was... Wait, why did Mad Catster come out? That's for later. Hello, Mad Catster. But yeah, I was always kind of confused by this. And as Oz said, if she just owned up and was like, you know what, I was getting a bit too big for my boots, you know, I shouldn't have said that, and I'm sorry, I think the situation would have been done and dusted there. Because as I say, it doesn't matter about the original situation on YouTube in any case, unless, you know, like, unless you did a or something like that, or I don't know, you murdered somebody. But in a typical YouTube drama setting, it doesn't really matter what the original situation is, and what really matters is your response to that situation. And as we saw, Blair's response was god awful. But it only continues, so let's get into it.
In this video, which is still public, Blair attempted to address the Twitter threads from both Click and Wonder. In doing so, she also used this opportunity to leverage several accusations against them, accusations which she, as it appears based on her actions, had been holding on for nearly 3 years to use at her convenience for an exact moment like this.
And this is something which isn't really uncommon amongst YouTubers. I have seen YouTubers be like, I've got this or I've got that, and I'm going to use it against this person. And I'm just like, what? Like, honestly, to me personally, if somebody withholds information to use it against somebody in the future, that information is really now redundant, because it indicates to me that you don't care about that information. You're only keeping that information because you want some form of weapon that benefits you in the future. You're holding on. Listen, I know a story, right? And I'm not going to name who. There is a very big YouTuber in LA, and they were very popular a few years back. They've got 10 plus million subscribers, and that's kind of narrowing it down. But I was told by another very popular LA YouTuber that this individual would record other people that they're friends with saying bad things on camera, and they wouldn't publicize that. They wouldn't use it in any way other than saying to the people, if you don't do this favor for me, or do this thing for me, or just in general stay on my side in certain situations, I am going to release these clips to the public. Now, to me personally, obviously what was said in those clips could be bad, but I think the badness is taken away by the fact that somebody is withholding that information to use as some form of a weapon, and iilluminaughtii very much was doing that in this situation. And to me personally, it just makes them worse than the individual that actually said bad things. But yeah, let's continue. Okay, sorry, I thought I should just interject here whilst I'm editing this video to double clarify that the things the Click was accused of were obviously not true. But also I should just say that yes, if somebody was like holding a secret away from the public for 3 years, and that secret was somebody else who committed a heinous crime, then yes, that obviously would not be redundant. But in the majority of the times I've heard about these rumors in the past of people holding certain pieces of information against another person, it usually is a very, very petty thing. If there was a crime being held from the public for 3 years straight, then both individuals would obviously be bad. I thought I should just clarify because some of you can get a little bit dumb and go into the comment section and say, but what about this? Okay, that's what I've got to say. Sorry, let's continue.
In my opinion, based on what we see from these events, either Blair knew her evidence was a misrepresentation of facts and only worth sharing as a Hail Mary attempt to destroy someone's reputation, or she willingly held evidence of being harmed within Click's server and only reported on it 3 years later when it benefited her.
And this is what I really don't understand about Blair's video. The thing that she accused the Click of, which I'm not gonna, well, Oz just said literally there, but the thing she accused him of is literally a terrible thing. I think arguably it could be considered a crime. At least in the social media space, it would be like a morality crime, you know? You'd be absolutely finished if that happened to you if you were a YouTuber and you actually did those things that she was accusing the Click of. And if she knew about these things for years and just held onto it until she could use it as a weapon in a response video. That's absolutely insane. And we all know Blair is absolutely bloody nuts, but like, it's even more insane to... I know we've already known this for a year, but just hearing what Oz is saying here makes you really think about it and just think, Jesus Christ, this person is absolutely insane. This stuff isn't true, but if it was true, like say if she did know something which was a very serious thing that somebody did, and she just withheld that information in any context, she could have been putting other individuals in danger by allowing a dangerous individual to just, you know, roam the streets freely while nobody knows about the terrible things that they're supposedly doing. That is who Blair is. She doesn't care about anybody unless it benefits her.
I cannot fathom any other reason for the events transpiring the way that they have. In fact, back in 2020, by the way she spoke within her messages, Blair seemed very eager to find an opportunity to destroy Click with this exact evidence. Or, to use her words from 2020, nah, I'm not gonna attack Click unless it becomes public gossip or a drama channel picks it up. Then I will nuke him.
She's genuinely not a normal human being. This isn't how normal human beings think. You are one of the biggest weirdos I've ever had the displeasure of looking at. What are these messages, man? This is not how a regular human being thinks. And this is something that I've said multiple times now, but if Blair even wins this case somehow, even though she's got one of the worst court cases I've ever seen, if she wins it, there's no coming back from this. We've all seen this insane stuff. We know that this woman is just nuts. And I will keep on saying that. But just look at these messages. Go back a second. Let's go back. My mouse is being weird. Why are you doing that? Sorry. I'm getting agitated. Nah, I'm not going to attack the Click unless it becomes public gossip, i.e. unless it affects me, then I will nuke him. That is absolute insane behavior. This individual should not have a platform with 1.2 million subscribers. And yes, it did used to be 1.6 million. Blair, just a reminder, you lost 400,000 subscribers. Let's continue going through this and more insane, I guess, revisits to the past.
Public gossip or a drama channel picks it up. Then I will nuke him. In this response video, Blair accused Click of some fairly horrendous things, which he did address in full within his own response video. Now, this is a retelling of well-documented public events which transpired publicly. None of this is new information. Blair also had a chapter dedicated to Wonder where she plastered his mental health for the world to see.
Again, one of like the most insane things ever made in a YouTube video ever. I'm not going to repeat the things said in that part of the video, but it should not be in a YouTube video. And if Blair has any level of moral consciousness to her, she would remove that clip from her video. And the thing is, if you didn't know, she can absolutely do that right now. YouTube has a thing where you can go into its own editing like software and remove certain things from videos that you have already uploaded. You could do that. Blair, if she really wanted to, could do that, but obviously she doesn't care. She just wants to make these people's lives a million times worse because she's salty. She's salty that the general public like these individuals and don't like her anymore.
Wonder is a former employee of Blair's, meaning that Blair had exposed private and sensitive information, also known as PII, which included conversations she had with his therapist, for her entire audience of, at the time, roughly 1.7 million subscribers. Blair also accused Wonder of mistreatment of his dog, as well as other false accusations that Wonder was forced to address. There is, of course, the infamous 3-minute section dedicated to me where Blair is in tears. I have my own opinion on these tears, but I plan to tackle this at a different time, as it serves no purpose here beyond pointing out that, in my opinion, Blair is attempting to leverage private details for public pity.
Yeah, that's absolutely it. That entire video, especially the ending of the video where she's like pretending to be in tears and devastated that she's no longer friends with Oz, is just complete and utter bollocks, man. You don't need to be somebody that's like invested in YouTube drama. By the way, this isn't drama. This is actual people's lives being affected. But at the time, it was considered drama. And you don't have to be an expert into that scene to know that somebody is absolutely chatting bollocks. You don't have to be an expert to see crocodile tears when somebody has crocodile tears. It's just an absolute mess. But the next part I want to get into is at 17 minutes in, where Oz starts to go over this bit in the lawsuit that Oz's lawyer mentions that regarding the false accusations listing above, Blair made one public post attempting to debunk the misinformation. She has not publicly addressed this situation further in an attempt to de-escalate it. Now, this situation, this statement here is basically a complete fabrication of the truth, in my opinion. It states she attempted to de-escalate the situation. Now, I'm going to allow Oz to speak about this because we are watching Oz's video, and then I will give my opinion on this.
We address the situation further in an attempt to de-escalate it. While I have my theories on why this was removed, the exact details are unknown. In her current complaint, there is currently no reference to her ever uploading this video or any of the public comments she's made, making it appear as though she never played in the mud, and her criticisms came from nowhere. Here's a quick search in the second amended complaint to demonstrate this.
This is something I also noticed throughout this entire documentary, throughout this entire document, all of the documents that have been made so far, whichever amended one it is that Blair really loves to paint herself as this innocent little bystander who's being attacked by all the internet bullies. Like, she isn't the only one in this court case that runs a commentary YouTube channel that regularly speaks about other individuals. Everyone else involved in the lawsuit, and also people involved in her video, such as the Click, who she only isn't suing because he is in another continent, is not a commentary channel. She is the one that regularly escalates situations. Now, I'm not saying that being a commentary channel is bad. I myself am one, but I am saying is you can't just sit on the sidelines of certain situations that you're involved in and be like, oh, I did nothing to cause this, when you yourself are an internet figure known for speaking about escalated situations and only escalating it further yourself. But Blair in this document is like, no, I did nothing. Well, she didn't say that, but she is almost trying to act like she did absolutely nothing.
My point here is that Blair's story has already had numerous revisions, and she sees her video as an attempt at de-escalation. If you recall, among the many other accusations she levies, Blair accused YouTuber The Click of harboring in his Discord server.
Now, I just muted a word. It was a very bad word, but you can probably understand what he's saying here. It begins with P, ends in S, and sounds like Isle in one of the parts of the word. So, yeah, that was a big accusation that she made towards the Click. And obviously, as we went through previously, if that was a real thing, which it is not a real thing, but if it was a real thing, Blair, in my opinion, should be considered complicit in that, because she would have allowed somebody to get away with that for 3 years until it benefited her in a public social setting.
In what world this is a de-escalation, I cannot say. Now, of course, I do believe that Blair is entitled to speak publicly on her personal retelling of events. However, I personally find it to be brash, hypocritical, and even monstrous to then sue those who argue against said retelling of events. Something rocks in glass houses.
Absolutely. Blair can't claim to de-escalate the situation when she herself escalated it. As I said earlier, if she, and as Oz said earlier as well, if she just said, sorry, legal eagle, I will leave it there, I genuinely believe that this would have all ended a year and a half ago. But obviously, a year and a half ago? I think it was a year and a half ago. It would have just ended when it began. But obviously, she is somebody who absolutely refuses to back down. And as you can see, iilluminaughtii Exposed has 1.2 million views. As far as I know, this may be the most, or if not one of the most viewed videos about the situation. This is not de-escalating the situation. This has 93,000 dislikes and 33,000 likes. That's over 120,000 likes in any essence of interaction. This made the situation absolutely explode. And the fact that she is trying to play this innocent, like, I was trying to make it all go away and I didn't want this, is such complete manipulative bollocks. And if you fall for this, God, I feel so bad for you for being so stupid. And I know nobody in social media is thinking that, but for the people in the court case that are viewing this situation, these are the people that I'm speaking about right here. Because we're going to get into this a bit later on in Oz's video, but it seems that the people in charge of the court case, i.e. the judge, does not understand how the social media space works, does not understand internet culture, and that very much is affecting this situation in a negative way. And I think Blair has deliberately done that. I think Blair has taken this to a court case because she knows that judges will not understand how the internet works, and honestly does not know Blair as well as we know Blair. And obviously this is just another brand of silencing. Blair does not want people to speak about her, Blair doesn't want people to criticize her, and if you do those things and you know her, she will silence you in any means, and Oz actually speaks about this around 22 minutes into his video.
I would like to note that Blair has been publicly silent on her platform for an entire year on this matter. Blair claimed that false allegations were being weaponized to silence her voice, but she has, in my opinion, been weaponizing the legal system to silence further criticism of her actions. I too, Blair, am confident the truth will prevail, which is why I'm actually breaking my silence, because I'm exhausted with playing the game your way. This would follow with the very next day, Blair sending out cease and desist to first Wonder and then later myself roughly 1 week later, June 5th. At this point, and up until September of 2023, I would have only made a single Twitter thread.
And this really summarizes it. This is a commentary channel who made millions upon millions of dollars on speaking about others, and when 1 or 2 or 3 other people do that about her in a Twitter thread, not a YouTube video, not a thing with millions of views, she simply cannot sorry, I don't know what happened there. She simply cannot handle it. That is how fragile this person is. There should almost be like an exam you have to take before you become a commentary channel, and the one question is can you handle criticism about yourself? Now, I'm not talking about can you handle harassment and genuine hateful behavior, because I'm sure that iilluminaughtii has faced that, but when it comes to Oz Media, or even me, or Wonderstruck, or felixthekitkat, or any of these individuals involved here, like the Click, I don't think that this constitutes harassment in any way, shape, or form, but it does seem that iilluminaughtii herself actually does believe that, and this is where we get into something which I didn't even know about until now, and it seems that Oz himself also did not know about, which involves, what's it called? Civil protection orders. I have a little notepad next to me on Google Docs, but yeah, let's get into this.
In the following week, specifically June 14th, 2023 at 9:03 a.m., which I would also like to add that these were denied by the court, which is why I had never heard of them until very recently. 2 civil protection orders against myself.
Verified complaint for civil protection. Now, this is from Blair, and obviously it's to the people involved in the lawsuit, like, I guess, Wonderstruck and also Oz Media. Blair requests this court to issue a civil protection order, and in support of this request, state the following, and then there was another one. So I believe these are both to Wonderstruck and Oz Media.
Blair cites general harassment that she had received as grounds for her civil protection against Wonder. Now, I would like to firmly state that if you've ever sent a threat of any kind to Blair, go f*** yourself. I don't want you in my audience or even remotely associated with me.
And I say the same about literally anything or anyone that I speak about in my YouTube videos. Do not harass the people that I speak about. Yes, you can listen and have your own forms of criticism about those individuals or even myself, but harassment and hate campaigns do absolutely nothing. It only honestly gives them more ammunition to use to counter actual real arguments being made against them, because they could just be like, okay, but you're causing this hate towards me, you're causing death threats towards me, which nobody obviously wants. In this situation with Blair or any other situation, we just want to get the bottom. I can't speak English. We just want to get to the bottom of certain things, and we want justice to prevail, like we want here with Oz Media. We want Oz to have justice, and Oz obviously acknowledges that if you're harassing Blair, you are a chronic bellend.
You're selfish and only stroking your own ego, while simultaneously hurting everyone involved. But with that being said, I do want to briefly talk about a few details in the CPO ordered against me, which, again, was denied, where Blair accuses me of beating her dog, Casper. I deeply cared for him, and I find this accusation thrown into a CPO for sympathy from the judge to be revolting. I also, in my personal opinion, believe that this is further evidence of Blair twisting and manipulating facts, or in some cases, just outright lying. How dare you accuse me of beating Casper?
And the fact that this is no longer involved in the court case, this civil protection order where she used this as a reason to, I guess, have it placed on Oz is genuinely so unbelievably wild to me. That is an incredibly serious allegation, and she just throws it in there like it's absolutely nothing. And as I said, I haven't heard about it until this moment of watching this video, and it comes back to the thing, as I mentioned earlier, of Blair just continuously gets worse and worse and worse. And the fact that she was willing to put this lie in here just as a little reasoning or excuse to have this thing put up against Oz, another struggle against him and Wonderstruck, is just insane. But it shows once again how terrible Blair truly is.
After everything I did for you and him, which in your own video, Blair, you said it yourself, how much help I provided with.
Yeah, again, I completely forgot. Well, I mentioned it earlier, but I forgot about it in the moment right now. Blair was literally in tears about missing her friendship with Oz. She was crying. Like, wait, no, actually, let's go back to that, because it's still up on her YouTube channel. Let's go get it right now. Illuminaughtii exposed. Okay, I don't know why my mouse is kind of jittery right now. Why is it doing that? Okay, we can ignore it. We can try and find it. Oz Media.
Go to my mom. You were there for Casper's various hospitalizations.
I mean, literally right there in the video, she's like, you were there for my dog's hospitalizations. What? Did he hospitalize the dog himself? Did he just give it beat it? No, obviously he didn't, because you didn't say that in the video, and you're trying to actually weirdly make him sound nice here, because obviously, you know, we all know that she wants to, at this point of time, manipulate everybody into thinking, oh wow, she's made mistakes, but she's got a heart, and she's sad, and she just wants it all to be done, which we know is complete and utter bollocks, because obviously she tried to be all nice and sweet here, but at the same time, she did make very serious allegations against a lot of people in this video. But by playing the sweet, manipulative, nice person, she kind of hoped that if people responded, everyone would be like, Blair cried in a video, how dare you speak up against her again? Obviously, no one was stupid enough to do that, but she thought it would work by doing things like this.
You would get sick throughout the years, and you helped me through a very difficult surgery recovery. I just want to say thank you for always being my support.
Is that why you're trying to financially ruin his life? Well, not financially, just in general ruin the bloke's life. Is that why you're doing it? Because to me personally, that's not really a good thank for support. You know, a thank for support would be like, oh, cheers, mate. Shake the hand, give him a hug. You know, I really appreciate you for being there. You know, for me, that for all the things that you've been there for me for. You've helped me with my surgery, my dog, and all that stuff. Really means a lot. It wouldn't be, thank you very much, I'm suing you for millions of dollars. That usually isn't the general gist of support. But yeah, after this, Oz starts to speak further about how much the manipulative tactics of Blair has really affected him, and just in general affected the others in this lawsuit. And the thing is people can see this stuff and think, oh, it's fun, it's funny, it's entertaining. But for these people, these are real individuals that are living this every single day. Lawsuits cannot be fun. I luckily have never been involved in one, but I've received legal threats by other influencers, and it is a terrifying thing to look at. So to actually then have to go into a courtroom where you are at risk of being financially ruined by somebody who you once considered a friend, I cannot imagine how mentally traumatizing that is. And yeah, Oz speaks about this. I don't want to go through every single minute in the video. As I said earlier, please go and watch Oz's video after this video, or when you can, and also check out his GoFundMe. But yeah, let's move on to the next bit that I wanted to speak about. And this comes back to the thing that I was mentioning previously of the judge not really understanding YouTube culture, and how Blair obviously knows that and has taken that as an advantage to completely ruin these individuals. And that brings us to felixthekitkat, where again, wait, don't speak, Oz, we'll get to you in a second, where Oz speaks about how the case is going for Felix.
This is a former Discord moderator for Blair turned employee at Pyramid Entertainment.
He's talking about Felix right now.
The leading plaintiff in this lawsuit Blair has hoisted us into. As of the time of writing, Felix's motion to dismiss was denied, and he will be proceeding through standard legal proceedings with Blair. I will be going into the specifics of the judge's order shortly, and to firmly clarify, the judge is not connected to or well educated on the YouTube space, nor the drama which has transpired.
Personally, I just don't understand how that is even allowed to take place, because you've got to really think about how Blair is structuring this whole legal debacle. This isn't a regular court case of, I don't know, trying to prove an assault happened or something on those lines, a regular court case. This is a court case where Blair is regularly speaking about her YouTube channel, her business, which is her YouTube channel. She's regularly speaking about internet spaffs and beefs that she's had with individuals, and the judge does not know about these things or have understanding about these things. And I just don't really get how that's allowed to happen. I think these things are extremely relevant, and the context of the situation that Blair's been involved in over the year needs to be understood to a maximum amount. The fact that the judge does not know about this stuff is genuinely insane to me. I feel like the judge should do some, at least due diligence into looking into this situation if he is going to handle this entire court case, because there's so much relevant context to understanding why things transpired in the way that they did. But obviously, this is why Blair is acting like an innocent bystander in this situation. If the judge doesn't know about everything that we all know about, he's going to look at Blair and think, wow, yeah, you are innocent, and you are just being needlessly attacked by all these individuals. When me and you know there is so much relevant context to why Blair is getting criticized. People on the internet don't just wake up one day and they're like, I hate that person. I want to ruin their life. It's like, no, nobody does that. But how Blair's legal document is being shaped up to look like is that's how it is. She's trying to make it out to the judge and the jury that I guess there's this unfair hate mob against her for absolutely no reason, which obviously makes no sense even logically when you don't know anything about this situation, because why would one day everybody internet randomly wake up and hate this individual that at one point a lot of people really seemed to like? But then after this, Oz starts to go through some of the things to do with Felix and why he's even involved in this lawsuit. And if you didn't know, Felix is obviously involved because he sent a DM to the clique between him and iilluminaughtii, and it involved a $200 payment being sent to Felix, where iilluminaughtii pretty much asked Felix if he could find the clique saying certain bad words like the R slur, which to me personally, again, comes under the whole thing of iilluminaughtii just definitely is an absolutely terrible person, because why would you do that with your friend in the first place? But also, it's again the whole thing of trying to get leverage to use against somebody in the future if you really need some form of ammunition. It's just a disgusting thing in my personal opinion, and to pay somebody $200 to do this is just insane. But pretty much Blair's argument was that this was a breach of a confidentiality agreement that Felix signed in 2021. But as you can see, the DMs that were sent were from 2020 and not necessarily to do with Blair's company. And Oz pretty much goes through the argument here to do with this sort of thing of it's just there's no reason that Felix should be involved in this legal case. So we're just gonna go through a little bit here. There's not too much more that I like in difference to what I said in my previous video about the situation, but we're just gonna look at this for a minute.
Nearly 7 months before Felix's employment under Pyramid Entertainment, the NDA should not cover private messages unrelated to Pyramid LLC. It appears to me that Blair is attempting to claim that every conversation she has ever had with an employee throughout all of time, even matters unrelated to Pyramid Entertainment, are under NDA.
Which absolutely is not the case, by the way. If it doesn't specify that in the contract, then no, she cannot do that, in my opinion. But also, we need to speak about these NDAs that Blair supposedly gets people to sign. I just don't understand them, because I've had so many people work for me in the past, whether it's contracted or permanently editing for me, and I've never made them sign an NDA because I'm not like working this mad operation where there's so many big secrets that we need to hide from the public. To me personally, if you're a YouTuber making people sign NDAs based on like your DMs and what you're saying to them and stuff like that, what's going on there? Are you doing like some crazy operation where a bunch of sinister stuff is happening? Because that's what I'm automatically going to think. Making your employees sign NDAs, immediately silencing them, is just incredibly sus in my opinion. And obviously we can see why that she was making people sign NDAs, because she was paying other individuals to spend hundreds of dollars to find bad words being said about her friends so so she could use that as ammunition in the future. It's just insane.
These DMs were in specific relation to a group collaboration channel known as Sad Milk, which included the likes of Damian Lee, Flinders, Hi I'm Wonder, One Topic, The Click, Salty, and myself, and of course Blair. Sad Milk is operated as a different corporate entity with its own distinct EIN, known as Wet Sox LLC, which is a sibling company to Pyramid Entertainment. Both are owned by the same umbrella company that holds my debt. If any argument were to be made about this being work contributed by Felix, the actions taken were not in service to Pyramid Entertainment, but instead Wet Sox LLC.
Which is not the company that is being used in the lawsuit, by the way. The only company referenced throughout this lawsuit is Pyramid LLC and what Felix did to that company and why he's being involved in this lawsuit, not because of the Sad Milk company. Therefore, there is really no argument, and that's pretty much what Oz is saying here. Felix should not be, none of these individuals should be in this court case, but the fact that a random Discord moderator that she paid like 3 years ago is involved in this case is just absolutely insane. And I don't say that to berate Felix the Kit Kat here, but I'm saying it just makes no sense to why he's involved in the situation, but it does just show how sinister Blair is. It doesn't matter how small of a person you are in her business. You can be the CEO, the CFO, or you can just be a tiny little moderator or a side editor. She will come down on you if you do anything to make her earn less money and look bad in the public eye. And that's only proven further 57 minutes into this video of where Oz speaks about how Felix was going to get silenced or has been silenced by Blair. And this is something that I personally noticed too, because if you didn't know, in my previous video speaking about Blair, I had interviews with Oz and with Felix speaking about this situation, and they had to be very coy about the things that they spoke about, because Blair, if she could, would take any of the things that they said and use that to her advantage in this lawsuit to financially ruin them. She's pretty much just been going around like a hawk looking for prey in this situation, and that's only proven here.
Felix was slated for an interview in my original video, and I can only assume Blair pieced this together and would be paranoid about the information he had to tell, leading him to be directly included to the lawsuit as an attempt to muzzle him and what he had to say. This is a personal theory of mine that I have come to due to the facts that are in front of me. If this were false, she could easily prove the public narrative wrong. Instead, she's opted to take the legal route in an attempt to use her finances to crush her opposition. What I also need to stress is that the video which Felix would have been a part of...
Sorry, I was speaking there, but I accidentally continued to play, then I thought he was going to say something relevant. But yes, and I completely agree with this theory. I think it's definitely true, and honestly, I think if I was in the US, I would have been in this lawsuit. I think if other individuals like Evangeline Skov were in the US, they would also be involved in this lawsuit. I think she is willing to do whatever she can to pretty much financially ruin everybody, but also silence everybody. Because let's be real here, people. Nobody wants to be financially ruined. So in some cases, it's best to just say nothing. Now, obviously, these people are braver than me. They're braver than a lot of other people out there, and they are willing to fight back against Blair, even if they don't have the finances that she has. But obviously, Blair has tried to silence all of them. Why is Felix involved in this court case? Because he merely tried to speak slightly in the past, and she could not handle that and had to silence that. But ladies and gentlemen, the video does have a bit of a depressing ending where Oz finishes it by giving a request to iilluminaughtii of just ending this. Just, both of them, they end the court case and just settle and go about it in two different directions and never speak to each other again. And that would mean that the GoFundMe could be dropped and everybody would get their money back and the whole thing would simply end. And obviously that does come from a place of Oz no longer wanting to be stressed by this, but also I think it's a fair thing to say to iilluminaughtii, not because he cares about iilluminaughtii or wants what's best for her, but I think it's a warning, because I do genuinely still believe, despite the judge does not know everything about this situation, that Oz, Wonderstruck and Felix are going to win this court case. Because as we've seen in Oz's video here, in my previous videos, in other videos such as Mad Cat's videos, the whole court case is just an absolute joke. Like there's nothing good in Blair's court documents. That's why there have been 1 million amended documents. She does not have any relevant like pieces of information that help her case. And I think why he is giving this, like, I guess, chance to settle is because, yes, he wants this whole thing to be done, but it's also a warning of, I am going to win this case and I am giving you the chance to just stop before it gets worse. Because obviously this case is going to go on for a very, very long time. Oz doesn't want that. He wants to go about his life and just end it how it is now. Finish the case, just go in a different direction and never have to speak about this again. But I don't believe that Blair is going to do that. I think at this point, it's about bringing everybody down with her. She knows, seeing as she's pretty much quit social media now, that there's no going back to the iilluminaughtii channel. Yes, she may start uploading on the channel again in the future, but it's never going to be the same. She will never have that audience back because we have seen how terrible she truly is. And this video, it's just another example of it, man. I really don't understand how she keeps on doing this. I mean, look at the comments, man. Everybody is just against this individual. They all know that Blair is just absolutely terrible, and there's a reason that she's silent. She knows that people no longer like her. I genuinely don't believe that Blair has more than 100 fans at this point. Yes, these videos have 28,000 views, but most people watch these videos for hate watches. They go to dislike. As you can see there, 9,000 dislikes to 700 likes, and that was 3 months ago. I'm sure that 700 is now below 100, but the things then only get worse when you go to Madcatster. Now, if you don't know who Madcatster is, ladies and gentlemen, this individual, Madcatster, is somebody who has absolutely done bits in this whole situation. If there's anybody that has covered this extensively, it is Madcatster. With every single court document that has come out, he has covered it, but also kindly sent me the documents and other individuals the documents. So please, if you want to know more about the situation, check out Madcatster's channel. But there are a few things that I want to go through in his recent video speaking about this lawsuit, where there are some interesting things that have been mentioned. And the main one being with the whole de-escalation thing that we spoke about previously, because obviously Blair and her lawyers, they've tried to be smart, they've tried to make it look like she's this innocent individual that's done nothing wrong, but me and you know, we're not stupid. We obviously know that's complete bollocks. And obviously, it seems that Oz's lawyers are trying to get through to the judge here and just kind of explain that all of this is complete bollocks. And they're trying to say that basically Blair, as it can say here, is quite clearly a public figure, and the commentary around them and the scandals they've created are a matter of widespread public concern. Basically, what they're saying here is that this whole situation was created by Blair. This is a scandal that has been escalated by Blair, and the reason that this situation is so massive isn't just because of Wonderstruck, felixthekitkat, or Oz. It's because of other individuals like myself, like other people that have made their video essay speaking about it, like the general core audiences who speak about things. You know, that's what people do in the world. We like to talk, especially when something dramatic is happening. But obviously Blair's argument in this court case is that the individuals that she's going up against in the case are the sole reasons to why she is, I guess, no longer relevant, to why she is so hated. She is basically saying that she wants to sue these individuals for tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages because they are the reason that her career is completely and utterly in the mud. But the lawyer is saying here, that's not true. There are a million other reasons to why Blair is no longer disliked, such as the widespread public concern. Plaintiff's attempts to dispel that her conduct is a public issue and a matter of public concern ignores that the heightened pleading standards of New York Times and progeny apply when the plaintiff is a public figure. Basically, they're saying that they're ignoring the fact that Blair is a public figure who has got herself into this sticky situation. And I genuinely think that the judge will see this and think, you know what? Yeah, that is absolutely true. She is a public figure, and there is not ever going to be a situation where somebody just randomly becomes hated by millions of people for no reason on a random day in June 2023. It would just make absolutely no sense. But then it only continues to get worse because Oz's lawyers are genuinely really good. Because 14 minutes in, Madcaster starts speaking about the whole confidentiality agreements that are the big talking point in obviously this court case of the breaches of these agreements. And I'm just going to allow Madcaster to read this for a second and go through this and give his analysis as a lawyer.
Confidentiality agreement with defendant Oz. Plaintiffs attach as Exhibit 1 to their response to the motion to dismiss a confidentiality agreement with unserved co-defendant Wonderstruck. Okay, so you're saying Oz violated his confidentiality agreement with you, but you don't have a copy of it?
Oh my god. When you want to make a point and you absolutely you don't get this on the iNabber channel because that's a scripted channel, but oh my god, I'm dying. Blair's taking me out. Please save me. No. Okay, obviously this is a really weird thing, and again, it's only going to make Blair's case sorry, I'm so sorry. It's only going to make Blair's case a million times worse, because if your whole argument is about a confidentiality agreements, yet you don't have that agreement and you can't put that agreement up, and instead you have to take somebody else's agreement and put that up there. That isn't an argument, in my opinion, because it's not the confidentiality agreement that you're talking about. You're providing another agreement for somebody else. Now, yes, maybe that does exist, but from what we've seen here, that agreement does not exist, or at least it hasn't been provided in this case. And obviously, that again is a very, very sus thing, and is another example of Blair's lawyers just absolutely just grasping and was it grasping for straws? I don't know what the phrase is. They're struggling, pretty much. They're struggling to actually make any form of an argument, and it seems once more that this is another case of either fabrication or at least manipulation of the truth, and that ultimately is pretty much this entire situation. Complete and utter manipulation of the truth. Blair is doing everything that she can possibly do to make her look like the good and innocent person in this situation, when what we know is Blair is the complete opposite of innocence. And this all is once again another example of Blair just being absolutely terrible. Now, I want to kind of come to some form of conclusion, but again, I will say, please check out Oz's legal fund for him, Felix, and the other defendants in the case. It's crucial that you do that. I will be donating to it later in the day. I don't have my debit card with me right now, but I will be doing so, and I hope a lot of you do so too. That is very, very important. But yeah, pretty much this is just another update on the situation. It's pretty much a situation that's in limbo right now, and I don't think there is going to be some form of conclusion to this court case for a very long time. So obviously I will continue to cover it on this channel, so subscribe if you want more of this. But yeah, it's just more of Blair being completely and utterly manipulative, and I want to kind of end this video by just speaking about how much this is obviously impacting people like Oz. Now, as I said, I spoke to these individuals in private and have spoken to a few of them quite a bit over the last few months and last year, and it's just clear how much this is affecting them. It's clear that Blair is doing everything that she possibly can to ruin their lives. And the thing is you guys have seen the public stuff, and that's bad, but obviously you know that there is so much more that goes on behind the scenes and is a million times worse than is publicly presented. But that can't be all shown and said and spread because Blair has done what she can to silence everybody. Obviously, Oz, Felix, Wonderstruck, the Click, they would probably love to say more about this situation, but because of Blair's lawyers, they cannot do that. And I think that's absolutely despicable, considering Blair built her $1 million empire on freedom of speech and commentary. She is literally known for making videos criticizing other people's actions, yet when people do that to her, she absolutely cannot handle that, which is obviously very embarrassing, but just sums up in general how much of a facade the iilluminaughtii channel is.
Peter.
And obviously... What? Sorry about that. But yeah, obviously we went through at the beginning of this video that Blair has quit, and I want to kind of end it with that. Do I think Blair will ever come back? Honestly, I don't really know. The channel, I mean, as much as it was popular at one point, I genuinely don't think Blair's channel was as good as it was originally hyped up to be. Because as we've seen throughout all of the last year, the channel was pretty much written by other people in all of her videos, and she was basically just a narrator. Other people edited the videos, other people wrote them, other people added certain pieces of information and stuff in by doing the research to the videos. Blair was just a narrator. Now, obviously, I've got researchers, I have an editor, but I also do loads of research myself. I also record in camera myself. I also edit a big portion of the videos myself, and it's like a collective effort. But Blair's videos just aren't that. To me personally, it's just solid corporate content. And I really don't think that, given everything we've gone through and seen today and for the last year, and also on top of the content not being that good, that she can really come back from this. But yeah, I'm going to end this video by saying I wish nothing but the best to all of the defendants involved in the situation. I think the phrase defendant is the right one. Hopefully I didn't just refer to Blair. But yeah, I hope Oz, Wonderstruck, and Felix are doing well. Obviously, I know they're probably not. It's a struggling situation. But we can all hope that it gets better. Please check out the GoFundMe. It will be in the description. Please donate if you can. If you've got some spare money lying around, that would be absolutely great. But yeah, that is the end of the video. Please let me know your thoughts down below. As I said in my previous video, I'm still kind of struggling at the short form aspect here. I've been recording now for 1 hour and 20 minutes. So this may be an hour-long video, which kind of makes the whole short form thing a little bit redundant. But, you know, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed speaking about this in a live format, and I really hope you did too. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm sorry this was a little bit mumbo jumbo. That's the whole point of the channel, though, to be honest with you. Please go check out my iilluminaughtii videos on the main channel. They're far more in detail and far more scripted and less rambly than this. And yeah, thanks for coming along. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!